And just like that, we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's Sublime Text live stream, where for reasons I don't understand, my stream monitor is not allowing me to see that I'm actually live. Fortunately, that is allowing me to see that I'm actually live, and so was that. Everything but this agrees that I'm live. Hello, how is everybody doing out there? Hope you had a great day and a great week so far. I am here. Hello, everybody. It's going to be a fun time. This is the most nerve-wracking live stream preparation that I have gone through in my multiple 2.5 years worth of live streams. Did a lot of preparation for this one to make sure that everything is going to work out. Kareem, hello, welcome. And Ayush, and I'm unfortunate I cannot pronounce your name there. Oh, yes, I noticed your message there. Unfortunate. I think there might be a computer in another room that is echoing my voice. That is kind of weird. Krish, I will try to remember that. Christian, if I'm pronouncing that wrong or I forget, please, I apologize. I don't mean any offense. This one has been a heck of a thing. That I've been live streaming here on YouTube for a couple of years now, and recently I switched over to Twitch. Well, not switched over. I do stream on YouTube as well. So I'm kind of old hat at jumping in and doing live stuff here. But this one with prizes on the line and setup on the line is a real nerve biter here. Joseph Lyons, hello, welcome. We're just getting rolling on the stream here, and Mike, aka McGriddles, did I get that correct this time? We're just discussing why you guys can see me, and that computer can see me, and that computer can see me, but the stream monitor down here is waiting for something to actually connect to start a preview. Kind of weird. However, I can totally see the number of people that are currently watching and such like that. So cool. How has everybody's week been? Oh, and Ashwin, hello and welcome to this week's stream. This is going to be exciting times. Hopefully exciting in the right ways and not in the wrong ways. This also kind of ties in if anybody here watches my streams on Twitch, because what we've been working on Twitch is integrations between web software and OBS, which I use to run my stream. And tonight we're doing something like that, but we're actually going to be driving Sublime, or driving the stream from Sublime Text commands with a custom package that I created. I'm not sure that command won't work on here, and it may not work with the bot. I'm not entirely sure. If it thinks it works, it might work. We'll try it in just a second when we get into the desktop, but I just migrated the bot to its private, or the new bot, I should say, to its personal home, and the location of everything changed. So potentially that may not work, but I do have a button that I can use to make it appear. This is some exciting times, and we should probably talk just a little bit about the giveaway. So this went quite well. I gained quite a few followers and subscriptions. You guys knocked it out of the park with your tweets sharing the Sublime Text love. Absolutely amazing. Now we have at last rough tally 200 entries for a copy of Sublime Text, which is being vied for by 75 unique individuals. Yes, please don't fail me. And hello, Bob. And there are 50 entries for Sublime Merge, which is more hotly contested with 16 people trying to win. So odds probably a little bit better on that than anything else. So what we're going to be doing here in just a second is we're going to launch into the stream proper, and we're going to start a countdown timer. So there's going to be 6 licenses that we're going to give out here, and we're going to go first a Sublime Text license, then a Sublime Merge license, then Text, then Merge, then Text, then Merge, randomly picking. Remember, you can only win one time, so if anybody entered for both of them, the first one that you get selected for will be the one that you will win. And we're going to try to spread those out a little bit throughout the night while we have a conversation here. So there will be a little timer up in the corner counting down to when things will actually kick off for that. So let's go ahead and jump into the desktop screen here. You wrote a song for Sublime Text. That is like super awesome. So here's how this is going to work. Okay, there's going to be a timer right up above the chat that's going to be counting down from 15 minutes once we kick it off. And then when it runs down, we're going to select a winner. We're going to pick a winner for Sublime Text and then for Sublime Merge, as I said. And that's going to look a little something like this, depending on whether you get Sublime Text or Sublime Merge. This is just a sample to test stuff out. That is we may need to put it on a different screen. Hopefully that is viewable to people, but there's also other places that we're going to see this. And we're going to go through that throughout the stream here. Now, before we actually get rolling, I'm going to hit intermission for just a second because I think there's a computer in the other room that is watching the stream and its volume is up a little high and I can hear a delayed echo of myself talking and it is very disconcerting. So nobody go anywhere. We'll be back in just one moment. All right, cool. I left the stream setup going on my other system, and that slightly disconcerting. So, how did that test go? Was the text easily readable? We do indeed have a little bit of sound. Hopefully, the levels are okay. I spent some time leveling it out. We've been testing this thing 9 ways from Sunday. Let's hope she all goes good. So, let's kick her off here. Indeed, I made that intermission screen. Let's click the button here before I go any further. I made that intermission screen like 9 months ago, and I've only ever gotten to use it twice. It just would have been sitting there waiting. So when the timer counts down, we're going to give away the first license, and it will be a Sublime Text license. So in the meantime, we need to talk about Sublime Text and Sublime Text 4 and all the cool stuff that's going to be in these new builds. Now, I'm presuming the confetti animation is not my own. I did create the spinner around the Sublime Text item and the Sublime Merge item. The logo will change depending on the item that was picked there. But yeah, the confetti, that one was not me. Technically, I have this software to do such a thing, but I'm terrible at particle emitters. Hopefully, it does not tank the frame rate and the bit rate. It does not seem to in my tests. When will Sublime Text 4 be officially launched? That we do not know. Only the developers know that. Hello, Ben. And speaking of, he's right there. The official response for when Sublime Text 4 will be released is when it's ready, and not 1 second before. But I would imagine we're entering the home stretch on this now that it has been publicly announced. 3 weeks ago now, 2 weeks ago now, I can't remember. The 20th, I think it was. Well, I created a sophisticated Sublime Text package which loads up the list of all of the people that have entered into the drawing. We're simulating here a big metal drum full of slips of paper, but I didn't want to do that because, hey, I'm a nerd. So when I hit the key, where it's going to reach into the virtual drum of paper and pull out randomly one of the people for whichever of the two programs that we're going to be going. There's a separate list for text people and separate list for merge people, or rather for tweets where someone registered that they would like to get one of those particular applications by using the hashtag. Once you are selected, I'm going to tweet out to let you know. And after the stream is over, you will get a direct message from me to get the information necessary for your license, which is going to be the name that you want on your license, and presumably also an email address so that you can ever recover it. In case anybody's worried, am I collecting your email addresses so I can send you emails? The answer to that question is no. I don't really like to send emails. Just ask anybody at work who has to talk to me in Mattermost, because I won't respond to emails. Your email is absolutely safe with me. And then we will go on to the next one. Now, when it comes back to drawing the same another winner for the same application or for the other application, your name can't be drawn more than once. So if the computer reaches into the virtual bag and pulls out your name, it's going to set that one aside and draw again, because we want to get 6 licenses to 6 distinct people. We don't want them all going to the same person. Indeed. Well, I mean, I am nothing if not a gigantic nerd. I mean, I even connected Sublime Text to the stream as well, so that it can deliver said information. As a matter of fact, there's even I had the focus in the correct panel. There's even a panel down here at the bottom of the screen, which is currently empty, which is going to track all of the winners throughout the night. They're carefully saved away in case something goes horribly, horribly awry. Yeah, indeed, yeah. If someone doesn't want to provide an email address, then I'm not going to force the issue. I'm just assuming that that's a sort of thing that is necessary. The other thing to note here is that if you are selected, you'll get a direct message from me on Twitter. So make sure that you have direct messages enabled for people and that you actually check. Otherwise, that could go poorly. There is going to be a tweet that goes out that mentions you publicly as well to draw your attention. You will have 7 days from the time that you get that direct message to respond to me with the information. If anybody is selected to win but doesn't respond in the 7-day period, then we will draw another random person using the same setup that we have here right now. No, that doesn't matter. We're going to contact through Twitter. So whatever handle you could respond to on Twitter will be perfectly fine. I know some people have different names in different places for this stuff. And the licenses are graciously donated by Sublime HQ themselves. So what's going to happen is after we gather the information from you guys, I'm going to contact Sublime HQ to get them to generate the licenses. And what with them being on the other side of the planet in a whole different time, it's afternoon for Ben right now. It's afternoon tomorrow, if I remember correctly, but I'm terrible with time zones. And not wanting to harass them too much to do that, there could be a delay of a day or two while we wait for the entries to come in so that we can deliver them out in batches. But hopefully everybody is okay with that, as it is incredibly generous that they have provided these licenses to give away to the community at large. Will the probability of winning increase if one tweeted more than anyone? Technically, yes. Quantity is a criteria. You could enter once a maximum of 1 time per day throughout the 2 weeks of the period. So for every time that you tweeted something out, or for every day that you tweeted something out rather, you have an entry. So it's possible that some people have a slightly better chance if they spread more Sublime Text love. But if people tweeted out more than 1 tweet on a day, only the first one that particular day counted. And it looks like a fair number of people actually entered quite a few times. Some people were really Johnny on the spot and hit every single day. Some people were every other day. Only a few people only did 1 or 2. I think they might have been stragglers that came in at the end. Well, never say never. I have seen a lot of names go by during my nonstop testing to make sure that things will probably go correct on this whole operation. Criteria is just the tweet that mentions me and has one of the appropriate hashtags. Some people, as I said, really knocked it out of the park with their tweets, sometimes even doing 2 or 3 tweets per, talking about various features of the software that they were interested in. A couple of people, kind of party poopers, just put my name and the hashtag, but that is perfectly fine as well. I was absolutely blown away by the response. People that were talking about all the stuff they love about Sublime Text and Sublime Merge. Like you say, Chuckles, you like Sublime Text 4 and Sublime Merge so much, you have a license to both. I do indeed as well. As a matter of fact, I've had my license for Sublime Text for so long that when Sublime Text 4 officially launches and the reckoning comes, my license has been around for so long that I will be one of those people that will be rushing to the gates of Sublime HQ, hurling wads of money at their door, trying to get them to open it up so they can take it. I will say, pardon me, do I use Windows, Mac, or Linux? And the answer to that question is yes. Right now we're streaming under Linux. I have a Windows computer right there. That blue laptop behind me, if you can sort of see the edge of it, is also a Windows laptop. I got another Windows laptop out there. And I have a MacBook just off to my right here, which is also monitoring the quantity of chat in the stream. So I do use Sublime Text and Sublime Merge across the whole of all of the operating systems that Sublime HQ supports, although ranked from usage, Linux is number 1, Windows is number 2, and macOS is number 3 for just how much we actually get through here. Terminal, hello, the giveaway, it's happening. Yes, in 5 minutes and 43 seconds, the first person will be selected. It will be a Sublime Text license, and we're going to be drawing one every 15 minutes as we discuss things here. You know, interminably dragging out the view time of this operation and you know, promoting viewership of the channel here at large. But we do often do live streams here for 2 hours anyway, so that should be no problem, I would imagine. And of course, you do not need to be present in the live stream chat in order to win, because we're going to be contacting you via Twitter. But why wouldn't you want to hang out with a bunch of cool people like us talking about Sublime Text and Sublime Merge? I'm surprised you made a terminal. You didn't skip out on a meeting or something, did you? Or did you take my advice and tell the person that your child is better than their child and shut the conversation right down? Tools that are we getting some sort of stuttering and buffering here, or is that just me? That is the unfortunate here. Let me hang on here. We'll see. That one is very unhappy about things too. But that one I cannot do anything about. Hopefully, the problem will. This is like the largest viewership ever. It would not surprise me if things went horribly awry just because we're doing live giveaway stuff here on the channel. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of that here myself as well. We'll close that window just in case that's causing any particular problem. I don't think it should, but hang on. And we will go. Oh, I see. That thing's really mad. We'll just close that then, shall we? Hang tight. There we go. Let's see if that hang tight. For some reason, we're dropping frames here, and I'm not entirely sure why that is the case. That is weird. Pardon me, beyond all, I mean, we've been doing these live streams for quite some time and never had a problem with it before now. But that seems to think that there is not enough out there. This reminds me of something that happened recently as well with somebody else. Hello. Keith, hello and welcome. You've arrived on terrible internet night, apparently. There's something funky going on, because we're trying to give away software here to the masses, so of course things have to be going wildly awry. I'm not entirely sure what the heck is going down. There seems to be some issue on my end. I will be back in just 1 second. I'm going to check something out here just to see if we can resolve an issue here. Okay, we hit the time. I'm just double checking. Frame rate is spot on, and CPU usage is only 3%, but for some reason, it was having some issues. Seems to be okay now. We'll see what happens. But we did hit the time. So it's time for the first drawing of the night. So let's see. If we were to hit the key, let's give away some stuff. And the first thing we're going to give away is a copy of Sublime Text. Let's see who the lucky person will be. I really should have put a drum roll in here. Did not think of that. Let's see what YouTube thinks of this as a bitrate item. And the lucky winner is the Loco Coyote, who is a Sublime Text fanatic and just won a copy of Sublime Text. Congratulations, Loco Coyote. And if I was to come over here, we can totally click the button and paste out and let Loco Coyote know that they have just won themselves a copy. Now, just in case, I'm going to use a different timer, and we'll see if maybe that non-stop action on the screen is what is going down here. So it was exciting, and as you see, we even added an extra panel down here as well, because if you're going to build a redundant package, you should totally do it with style, right? Let's add a clock. Of all of the things that I expected to go horribly wrong, internet connectivity quality was not one of them. So let's go ahead and set up a time for thus and launch this bad boy out. Yeah, it's even cool enough to remember which one it did last and then pick the next one next time. There was also a fair bit of jiggling to get the Sublime talking to OBS through another computer in the various Rube Goldberg-like mechanisms that we go. So that's one copy of Sublime Text down to the local coyote. The loco coyote, pardon me, who has been tweeted out just to let them know the direct messages will go out after the stream is done. I don't want to hold everything down for that. But this does point out, sadly for me, that I did not have time to come up with my own Unicode font with the Sublime Text and the Sublime Merge logos, because I could have put information in those panels that says exactly the number of copies that have been given away and won. It's the thing with software development, you're never done with these things, are we? That went well. So, well, let's see if we can keep this going for the next little bit. Keith, hello. Sorry that I did not get to say hi to you there for more time before I ran away to see if there's something consuming all my bandwidth on one of the computers in the other room, unaccountably. Surprised to see you in a live stream. Glad to see you, though. Any other questions about Sublime Text or Sublime Merge? I think there was something about Vim key bindings. Oh, you're talking about different software to see? Nova. Yes, I heard people talking about that in the Sublime Text Discord, but I don't buy, because I use Windows, Linux, and Mac OS, I try my damnedest to not buy software that will only work on one platform and not all of them, except in extraordinary circumstances, I guess you would say. I have video editing software that I use to create my videos, which are Windows only. Well, actually, Windows and Mac OS that doesn't support Linux. But by and large, I want everything to be portable to everywhere. I want to use the same tool and the same setup on all of my machines. So to that end, I don't tend to buy Mac applications for my Mac on the whole, because I don't, well, and also, as I mentioned earlier, on the usage pattern of which platform I use the most, Mac OS is on the bottom. So I don't really do that sort of thing. I set one on the phone instead. It is still running. We're going to test that to make sure things are good, and then I'll try it again on the next one, because it said we were dropped a bunch of frames, which might be because that was running. I can't imagine why that would be the case, but just wanted to double check that as we move forward through the stream here. I mean, if this rather beefy computer can't do that, there's something terribly wrong. But I mean, it's never happened before, so that's what we have there. So I've never used Nova myself. No, as a matter of fact, I don't remember I've really used, except for Vim, which I've used for a long time. I don't think I've used any other text editor in any meaningful way for the last 4 years, but Sublime Text. I mean, discounting opening a file in Notepad on Windows every now and then and being very unhappy about the experience. Does anybody in the chat have, besides the person it was who mentioned the chuckles, missing Vim key binding, slow on large files? What do you think of that particular editor? If you've seen any of my live streams at all here or on Twitch, will know that I do use all platforms. I use a variety of tools, and I am not a person that puts the poo-poo down on one tool or one operating system over another, because all of that sort of thing, tool selection, tool choice, is very much an object of personal preference. And whatever it is that you use that gets the job done for you and the best way that it can work for you is the correct tool for you, regardless of what anybody else thinks. So don't let anybody get you down saying that you don't use the right tool, or you should be using this, or you should be using that. If anything, you should be trying a vast quantity of stuff and finding the thing that works best for you, and taking with a grain of salt when people tell you that something is better than something else. Unless that something is Sublime Text, because obviously it's the best. Yes, I stream on Twitch as well. And for those not familiar with Twitch, it's a platform that's normally used for game streaming, but I have a lot of artist friends who stream art there, and a bunch of friends now that stream their coding there. So I code on Twitch a couple of days a week, Wednesdays and Fridays at this very same time slot. Channel name is ODatNerd, just like you might expect. On Twitch, you can, your viewers can gather channel points for watching you that they can redeem towards things. And one of the things that we're going to redeem, and I'm going to add them in at the start of the next month, is getting me to switch my Sublime Text to a different theme or a different color scheme, and also a community goal to get me to use Visual Studio Code for 2 or 3 streams, to see if somebody can sway me away, or more likely to watch me stumble and fail as I use software that I'm not used to, that behaves almost but not quite in a way that I don't necessarily expect. Let's see what we got here. We got another 7.5 minutes on this bad boy. Indeed, yeah, there's the channel point redemptions on Twitch are kind of a tricky business, because people like Ashwin have a ridiculous number of points now. So setting the costs for things in a way where he doesn't just sit and constantly poke me and say, change color scheme, do it again, is going to be tricky. Indeed, yeah, and that is something that's going to be coming to the channel, Chuckles, in the near future. I know LSP is incredibly popular for providing code intelligence. It's not something that I tend to use in any meaningful way. I use the autocomplete system that's built into Sublime Text, is totally suitable for the uses that I put it to, but I know that there's a lot of questions that people have about LSP. So there will be content coming to the channel covering LSP, what it is, how to set up some servers for some things, and get going with it, which I believe the combination of that and the speed of Sublime Text, I think, beats out Visual Studio Code from what I've heard. I just haven't done those videos yet because I don't tend to use that sort of thing. So before I can talk authoritatively about it, I need to put my money where my mouth is and go with that. We are currently at 6 minutes before the next one starts, and then I'll go back to using the other timer so that everybody will be able to tell what is going on. It is, yes. I'm curious if the site received an uptick in views when that trailer was dropped on Twitter with some of the fancy new features, some of which I don't take as much advantage of as I could. For example, let me just split this window to make sure that nothing accidentally goes under there. The link to the Loco Coyote's tweet is going to go off underneath the chat, but that is less exciting than the general thing. But if you had a couple of tabs worth of text, the ability to select the two of them and easily swap back and forth between the two. Now you just saw I split the window into a 2-pane one because I like to have files on one side that I'm working with and then something to refer to on the other side. And this multi-tab selection allows for seeing multiple files side by side without disrupting your file layout, which is something that I find incredibly useful. What I'm not familiar with yet is the key bindings for doing it. I always have to look in the menu to be Control J, Control Shift Right. So Control J, Control Shift Right to add those in. Navigating them is simple enough, and breaking the association is simple enough. But that particular keystroke, it's just similar enough to the origami key binding for going to the right that my brain just automatically hits that key and goes that way. I noticed you don't use Vim bindings. Well, my personal take on this is that Vim key bindings are super awesome if you're using Vim or some other VI clone, but Sublime's not, so I don't use them there. Not for any other particular reason than that. Vim was my editor of choice for 2 decades before I made the jump to Sublime Text, so I'm pretty familiar with maneuvering around in Vim or in VI in general. As I like to say, I very frequently end up pushing escape in situations where I don't mean to if I spend too much time using Vim. So I try to keep Sublime mindset for when I'm working here, and then if I was, editing a file down here, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell notification icon too. I'm not sure what I was using this for. Probably something in the video. But, motion keys being what they are for moving around and such. I'm familiar with those keys. I don't really like using them in editors that aren't Sublime. That aren't Vim. Can't really put my finger on it. Show me how you jump around in a project workflow wise. Oh, you still use the mouse for that stuff too? Hey. I do tend to use the mouse a little more in live streams than I do in real life, because I sort of consider it to be a pointer that I'm using to talk about stuff. But there is stuff that, as much as my videos talk about how everything should be keyboard bindings, or as much as possible keyboard bindings, there are some things that I still do use the mouse for. But if I was doing something like with an actual project, all the projects that I normally work with would be open. For example, we can close both of those. We don't care about those bad boys. This is, if you watch me on Twitch, this stuff is probably going to be pretty familiar, because we've been working on the ability to set up our own Twitch bot and integrations and such. For example, I think I have a tab over here. We could do a little something like it's big brain time and make that appear, or say something like this. Which I could have done earlier, but I did not have that tab. This is the code that I'm using for that. So the normal way that I tend to work, and it's kind of hard to see because of the chat, but the window is split into 3 different groups here. The main group on the left, where I do most of my work, and then these 2 over here. This one's 75% of the window. This one's 25% of the window. I tend to have the file that I'm secondarily editing, working with, / referring to. Like if I was working on something and I was using a library, I might put the header file for the library over there just to have something to look at. And the one in the bottom right is just for little miscellaneous notes. For example, right now it's this scratch buffer with what messages look like when they come across Twitch chat that I just had there so that I could refer. Well, let's take a look. And 54 seconds, as a matter of fact. Expect to see me jump randomly. So I will frequently use the key bindings Alt plus the number to switch through various tabs, except if you watch me on live streams, because I'm constantly fumbling around with the mouse. Control and numbers switches pane. So you can't really see that here, but it's shifting the focus to the right. And the font that I use, is Yoshevka. I'm not sure if I have this set up here. We'll see if Nightbot sees that and responds to it. It should. It's a font called Yoshevka. I have a slightly modified version of it to be just a little bit wider. There you go. So that GitHub link will take you to the official page for this font, which is entirely free. And that bit.ly link, which is only a bit.ly link because otherwise it's ginormous because it's a Google Drive account, is for my customized version of that particular font, and the spelling will be right up in there. It is time to give away a copy of Sublime Text. And check it out, my plugin is so cool, it synchronizes this panel across all windows. It probably even works. Let's double check. All right, so the next thing we're giving away is a copy of Sublime Merge. I will check that in just a second. So who will be the lucky winner of the first Sublime Merge license that we're giving out this fine day? Let's take a look. Surprise! And the lucky winner is someone named YB Bond. Congratulations, YB Bond, on your copy of Sublime Merge. We'll go ahead and paste that in there. Life has never been easier when you get Sublime to do the heavy lifting of stuff for you. Now that we've done that, let me just double check. If I click this link, oh, there's a semicolon on it at the end, and there shouldn't be. I'm not sure why that's being picked up there. I think that's YouTube's fault. But remove that semicolon and that will totally work. So I'm going to turn this timer back on and let's see if things work okay. And that was just a weird hiccup for what was going on previously. But yeah, this is a completely freely available font. And you can see here, the default version of this, just a little bit too thin for my personal taste. So I have a modified version of this that is just slightly wider. The weight of the font is 600 instead of 500. That's why there's a bit.ly link up there that will link you to a zip file on my Google Drive that has the font that I use here, which also includes ligatures. There's probably not a great example of it in those places, but you can see it, ligatures there and there. There's also another version of the same font with term in the name. Technically a shortened version for my name, but that's just the version of the font if you want to use it in a terminal. It doesn't have the ligatures in it. All right, that part seems to maybe be okay. So yeah, now the one last thing regarding my workflow in projects is that I do everything that I'm working with, I keep in a project so that I can just very quickly switch back and forth between all of them as needed. Sometimes I'll have a couple of windows open if I'm working on stuff. Very occasionally I'll create multiple workspaces into the same project, but more often than not it's just one-off, just the way that I tend to work. This is an example of a YouTube package that allows you to edit your YouTube channel from directly inside of Sublime Text. Like I say, I take my moniker as a self-proclaimed Sublime Text fanatic somewhat seriously. We're giving away stuff to people in giveaways. Uh-oh. I think I might have broken it. Yeah, I like to use a Sublime for all of these sorts of things. Oh, the font. I rolled down. I have indeed started the timer. You should see it going up there. My chat got scrolled back a little bit and didn't move down, so I missed something there for just a second. The IBM Plex Mono font. I've heard good things about the JetBrains Mono font. Has anybody used that one? I've never used it myself. I spent a long time casting around for a font that had ligatures, but like the right amount of ligatures, because there's one, and we went over this in a stream recently, I can't remember the name of the thing, had like way too many ligatures in it. Like the www of a web URL was a ligature. Seemed a little much to me, and I'm not a Haskell programmer, so it had a lot of ligatures that I wasn't going to use for that. I found some other fonts that had a few ligatures, but not enough. So I kind of settled on this one as sort of a nice blend of the two, and I've been using it ever since. Prior to this, I used Source Code Pro, and the only reason that I stopped using that is that Sublime started supporting ligatures, and I wanted in on that ligature action. I do develop in C, Objective-C, a small smattering of C++, but I would probably consider it C++ and not C++ because in my mind, C++ is all about seeing how many template expansions you can get into one file on one line of code, and that's not the sort of stuff that I do with it. But when it comes to plugins and stuff that I use for C development, just Sublime Text out of the box is what I use for that. I don't have anything like LSP or with ClangD or Sublime Code Intel. Just Sublime's. As a matter of fact, Sublime's built-in build system for make files is what I tend to use for this stuff to build things. I don't think I have a custom. For a while I had a custom build just to have an extra run variant, but I got rid of that recently for reasons I don't remember. But apart from that, that's all I use. That and whatever custom key bindings I have, but I don't have anything that's related directly to C or C++. My views on that may be slightly skewed because I'm in another Discord with somebody who's writing some C++ code to load some kind of JSON file from Elite Dangerous. He's trying to create, I think, some sort of metacode or something. He's been posting examples of the stuff that he's been doing. He broke the compiler 4 times in the last week with weird internal compiler errors that are unexplainable, and everything is just one gigantic pile of template inside of a template inside of a template. But when I use C++, I tend to be a little more, circumspect, shall we say. I have been known to compile my C code as C++ code just so I can use references for parameters instead of having to use a pointer, just so that some lines of code will be a little bit nicer to look at. That's sort of the level that I'm operating on there. But for the last 20 years, I've mostly been using C and Objective-C as the main things. When I was using Vim as my editor, I didn't have anything special in there either, just executing make to build stuff and a terminal to run it. Now I occasionally use the terminal built into, or not built into, that I have put into Sublime with using Terminus for small, simple things. But for anything more robust than that, I do tend to use a terminal or multiple terminals in a window. Yeah, you can go ahead and close all those tabs. There's nothing in them. Thanks, Guy. Perhaps. I mean, like I say, that's when I say that, it's sort of a little bit of like tongue-in-cheek, because often when I see people talking about C++ and discussing it and having problems, it's everything to do with a bunch of weird template stuff. Why not theme Terminus? Well, technically it is themed. I don't know which theme this actually is, but it's not the default, I don't think. I used to use Solarized Dark for this, but for some reason I switched it to this one because it looks better with the way that things look on my Windows box, and I sync my stuff around. One thing that would be nice in Sublime is the ability to load OS-specific settings files from your user package, which currently isn't a thing that works, but there are just a couple of times over the years that I've used Sublime that I wish there was a way for me to have a setting that only applies to one OS and not another. I don't even actually know what that's actually set to. Apparently it's Afterglow, according to that text that you can't read because it's underneath my big fat head, like so. And I think these are just the default colors from there. And you can see the font that I'm using there is Yoshevka Term. It's the same font that I use in the editor, it just doesn't have the ligatures. So, stuff like that looks the way that you would expect it to. What theme do you use for that, Terminal? I'll let him know that he should be using D. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of head scratch emojis and crying emojis as he does various things. I think he actually got stuff actually running, but it generated something like 160,000 functions and performed kind of poorly. So. Neat. Yeah, D is definitely not a language that I have used. And I've used some weird esoteric stuff. Incidentally, Terminal, I don't know if you were here for the part of the thing, but on streams on Twitch, one of the things that I'm going to be adding in for the start of the new month is channel point redemptions to get me to change the color scheme and theme. I have to decide how that's going to work. But I'm imagining that when it comes to changing the theme of things, we'll probably pull in the ones that you've been working on for. I assume you were working on the merge versions of stuff. The monitor on the left is a Dell U3219Q, and the monitor on the right is a Dell U2713HM. Normally, I run them both at 2560 by 1440, even though the native resolution of this one is a little bit higher, because otherwise I can't read the writing because I'm an old man. But for streaming, I constrain it down to the size that I'm streaming at so that what I see is what you see, and there's not any weird aliasing. The monitor to my left is another one of these. There's also another one, well, a smaller version of it back there, but you probably can't see it. Is it true? I saw something somewhere that even Strustrup, I can never pronounce his name, sort of like walked away from what he wrought with C++ for a while, and then eventually came back and rolled up his sleeves and said, let's fix some stuff here. I don't know how much of that is apocryphal, but it kind of tickles me that that is the case. I was mentioning on a previous stream that the last time I used C++ stuff in earnest was back in the days of using precompiled headers for things, where you'd compile and it would precompile the gigantically long include chain into a file so that it could process other files quicker, and C++ was incredibly slow to build. But that was quite some time ago at this point. I think I used the height of my using C++ all the time was when you just told someone that you wrote C++ code and you didn't have to specify that you were running C++ 11 and stuff. Sort of like how we write C code, we're like writing C99 or C89 or such in the K&R style, or not. A cyber neon hacker theme. I would like to see that. For videos on the channel, I tend to use the default color scheme, which is Mariana, which is what I'm using here, but it's just slightly darkened from what the default is. And I use the adaptive theme historically because I want a darker scheme for the video. Now that Sublime Text 4 has a dark variant of the default theme and a light version, I might switch to that. The downside is I have to redo all of my stream assets, so that might be slowing me down. But I did, in the early days of my using Sublime, try to use other themes to see if I could find something that I liked, and I never really found a theme that agreed with me aesthetically. So I've just always used default themes, but I'm certainly open to stuff like that. And I just used Monakai for forever because it was the default, and now I use Mariana because it's the default. Technically, I use it because it's what the default is, and I want my videos to look as close to stock as possible, so people that watch the videos on the channel here don't get confused that their stuff doesn't look like mine. As a result, I use Mariana in my personal stuff here just so that I'm used to looking at it. I've heard of Brogrammer and I've heard of AU Mirage, but I've never actually used them. And I think when it comes to themes, the ones that I've tried were like the material theme. There was a couple of them, and what put me off was, believe it or not, the configurability of the thing. I kind of want my theme to be configurable, but I don't want to have to decide between one of 15 different font sizes for tabs and one of 12 different font sizes for this, that, and the other. I want something a little more broad in general. If Sublime switches to Celeste, I don't think my eyes will allow me to do that. I would have to darken that up quite a bit. And supernova time for everybody's face, I would imagine. That was ridiculous. Just a little too bright for me. If the brightness was cut down, I could probably do something with it, but you know, I'm not, despite the fact that my yeah, I know. Sorry about that. Despite the fact that my Chrome is set to be pure black, that's just because there wasn't a good one. It is giveaway time, my friends, and it is time once again to, let's see, if we pull it up, it's going to be Sublime Text this time. It's time to give away a copy of Sublime Text, a personal license to somebody. So let's see who the lucky winner is going to be. I'm pressing the button now. Gooey Bar 02, congratulations on your copy of Sublime Text. That is a name that I've actually seen pop up a couple of times in my many tests. Make sure the name is correct, and away we go. Sublime, making everyone's life easier. Now I need to click the button here. If I do that and I do this, the timer shall restart and we shall continue on. Dracula for a while. You know, when I used IntelliJ tools, my theme of choice was, they called it Darkula. I've always wondered if that was like a ripoff of Dracula, or Dracula was a ripoff of Darkula, or it was just spelled wrong and someone decided to just go with it. I was telling a coworker the other day about how for a period of 4 years, our mail server at work was named Prurolator instead of Purolator, which is the name of a delivery company, because the person that set up the server and set up the DNS spelled it wrong when they put it in there, which caused no end of technical confusions because everybody talked about it as if its name was Purolator, but that's not what you had to type into the box. Hello, Diego. I have not, but perhaps somebody else has. I don't know why I don't like Monakai since I started using Sublime. How can you not like Monakai? The only reason that I'm not using it is because the default changed, but that was my choice for many years. Let's take a look. We're really we're 3 for 3 on giveaway stuff working here, so that's pretty exciting. Let's poke the bear by manipulating our copy of Sublime Text. Autumn. Diego, this looks like you. I'm assuming this is one of those themes where I can just say select theme and choose autumn from the list. Ooh. Uh, technically, I kind of do. But who can remember? Make this bigger. There was a Sublime Text blog. I cannot remember now where the link is, but it is, oh, maybe something like this. This particular link, which I will give you the link to, covers this very thing. I've read this through a couple of times. And I discovered this after I had already purchased the license. Famously, I went looking for a text editor to replace the tools I was using. I found Sublime Text. I used it for a very brief period of time and bought the license because I was so impressed with it actually working on my system and working well and what I saw in it, even though I wasn't entirely sure I was going to keep using it. If I had found this blog post where it says, let's put the focus on the text and not seeing how many buttons on how many toolbars we can cram onto the screen. And because, maybe if we're editing text, maybe we might want to actually see the text. I probably would have started throwing my credit card at my monitor even before that. And the rest, as they say, is history. But yeah, if you read these blog posts, those will give you the skinny on why he decided to do that. I shall indeed try the other one. Now, is this still using... This is using... what color scheme is this? I assume still Mariana, right. I'm not a super fan of a white thing for the console. Pardon me, I kind of lost the thing there. I was just thinking back in the day... sorry, UI color scheme. I disliked, sorry, I sort of got sidetracked there while I was doing some stuff. I disliked the default theme because the sidebar and the console text was white and everything else was dark. So as soon as the adaptive theme became available, I immediately switched to that just because the console and the sidebar were darker in color. And I think I might have been able to fix that via theme tweaks. It's probably the thing that made me look at other themes. I should probably have something more exciting than settings open when I'm doing this because it's not really providing a great... JSON is the least interesting of all of the potential things for that. I like that little button though. That's cool. Let's see. We do have another window open, right? Let's go back to this one, shall we? Close that. We can see a little bit of a sense for what this actually looks like with the code in the window as well. Still using Sublime Text 3? Well, perhaps, Robert, you will win yourself a copy tonight. You're in the, I assume you're in the giveaway. Sublime 4 is pretty cool, I will admit. I mean, I'm kind of biased. I've been using it for a year and a bit now, but I do still have Sublime Text 3 installed because you never know when someone might have a question about it. Whenever I do anything on a video or whenever I answer a question on the forum, the Stack Overflow, and the Discord that involves anything slightly tricky, I always double check that what I'm saying isn't a lie before I do it. So important to have the appropriate stuff there. It seems to not play well with the icon theme, which is to be expected because the theme is what controls what icons you get for things. That's not the correct button for that. Yeah, we'll give it over here. Color scheme. Come on, man. There we go. That I like the darkness of the brownness of the birch one. Some very low contrast stuff here. Hello, Rocky. If you are a member of the Sublime Text Discord and you have a license to Sublime Text 3, you can download a copy of Sublime Text 4 to test and use right now. That's what I'm using right here. Through the dirtiness of a web request to the bot, it hits a post or a get or either web endpoint. It was a little while ago now that I did it, and inside of the bot, as a matter of fact, we could probably see it somewhere in the vicinity of here, because this is the bit of the stuff here. Let's see. That's the dashboard panel. That's the extension. So here it is right here. There's a special route on the Express server that the bot runs to listen for incoming web requests, that listens for /giveaway/notify and sends appropriate messages to the other parts of the overlay to get it to send a WebSocket message to OBS, to play the confetti, and to tell the web page that's loaded in the overlay that it's time to display. And it also sends across the person who won and what program they won as well. I've seen a lot of people asking about Dart and Flutter lately. Chuckles, are you somebody that also comes to the Twitch live streams as well? Or maybe that's just sort of a coincidence. There's been like a lot of people talking about that as of late. And I know there's somebody in one of the streams, either YouTube streams or Twitch streams, that had some advice about how they set up their Dart and Flutter, but I can't remember who that person was or where it was that they said it. Sometimes there's a little bit of a mental disconnect on talking to people in my Discord, the Sublime Discord, in direct messages, on the forum, on Stack Overflow, in the comments, on YouTube stuff, and in emails. I remember that people said stuff, but I can sometimes not remember what position it was that someone said stuff. There you go. McGriddles. Really? Ubuntu is pushing Flutter? Whoops. When I read "it's being educational," my brain automatically inserts a long dramatic pause between the being and the educational. Does that sound about right for what it is that you're doing here? Next up is going to be a Sublime merge draw in 3 minutes and 40 seconds. That is some exciting business right there. What it's doing is kind of gross. Is it like a framework that's used by Dart as a language? So far, the winners have been the Loco Coyote and GUI Bar 2, who both won copies of Sublime Text, and YB Bond won himself or herself or theirself a license to Sublime Merge. And the next draw coming up in just under 3 minutes is going to be another one for Sublime Merge. And if you follow me on Twitter, as wins are going out, I'm tweeting them out as well to spread the joy. And once the stream is over, I will individually direct message each individual winner to get the information that we're going to need to get them their exciting new Sublime Text or Sublime Merge licenses. Let's see. Oh, I missed something there. Oh, just wondering how many people have entered. There were just over 200 people that there were just over 200 entries for a copy of Sublime Text, which was 75 unique people that entered, and there were 16 unique people that entered for a copy of Merge, which was spread over about 50 different entries. Not everybody that put the same number in, so it's not like everybody has an even chance. There's some people that put in a full boat of entries to increase their chances, and some people only did a couple. There's still time. This whole giveaway came about as a result of two things. One, I was going to, I was planning on doing something like this for a copy of Sublime Text, or two, to support the channel because Sublime Text 4 was coming out, and I wanted to, get the word out there. And then I got contacted by an anonymous benefactor who, out of the blue, I hadn't even said anything to anybody about that plan, offered to purchase licenses. And that made me think, yeah, let's do it. Sublime had just been announced at that point publicly. And then Sublime HQ, unfortunately, the entry date for getting yourself into the giveaway was yesterday morning. So any entries that you send out now are highly appreciated for sending the Sublime Text love, but unfortunately they won't count as entries. Oh, we're 10 seconds away. Let me just double check here. I have never used Swift either. I was talking about that in a stream the other day, but just always used Objective-C for everything on our iOS stuff, and then Swift didn't really come out until we were partially through that. It is time, my friends, to determine who the lucky winner will be for the second copy that we're giving away of Sublime Merge. Who will it be? Let's crack the old knuckles here. Build the suspense. Once again, wish I had put in a drum roll button, but of course I didn't. So many ideas for naught. Surprise! Well. Congratulations, Ashwin. I'm gonna go ahead and just tweet that bad boy out, but we have a winner in our midst. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations on that copy of Sublime Merge. A very hard worked for, I will say. If we were to look at the quality of Ashwin's tweets throughout all of this, throwing up little video clips, and all of his tweets had multiple things. He took spreading the Sublime love very seriously, and I am tickled pink that you won yourself a copy of this. Congratulations. Something that I'm planning on doing over the next week or so is going back over these and retweeting some of these things out as well, and putting them in videos and such. And I'm pretty sure Ashwin's going to feature in there. And hello, Dylan. Welcome. So that is those down. We got to push the button and restart the timer. We've only got two more to give away. Another copy of Sublime Text and another copy of Sublime Merge. Welcome, Dylan. Have you been in one of the streams before, Dylan? I can't remember. I know Will has come to some, and Ben chimes in. I can't remember if I have. You did. Congratulations. As a matter of fact, because we know that you are here, we will say one of these too. Kind of goes underneath the timer. It wasn't intended to work with the timer as well. Nevertheless, hey, hey. You got to be careful when you go away to get breakfast. You might find out that you're missing yourself a copy. You're missing the big drawing announcement. And everything still seems to be running good. So apparently there was just a little bit of weird network something for the first time in 2 years of streaming. Of course, it would happen on the busiest stream of the entire year. Cool. Does anybody appreciate that I created a syntax for this panel that makes Sublime Text orange and Sublime Merge blue because those are the overcolors? Oh, awesome. If I did not realize that, or I have a terrible memory. I've been telling people that this stream is the first time in multiple years of streaming that I've actually been nervous to go live. There's a lot on the stake. There's a lot on the line for all of this stuff here. And, I tested and retested and retested this little integration I created here that ties all of the stuff together for these graphics, including right up to the last of the thing. So yeah, cool. The thing that I expected to fail was that, and not my internet of all things. Oh. Dylan lurks. Hey, lurking is where it's at. I do that a fair bit on Twitch as well. I like to support all of my friends on Twitch as much as I possibly can, so I'm almost always in their streams. I can't always actively participate in the chat, but I do lend views and keep an eye on stuff. So I assume I could draw you out of the woodwork by saying something horribly wrong about Sublime Merge. You're in some part of Australia too, right? I can't quite remember. I remember you tweeted out a picture of yourself on vacation in a very beautiful place, and I liked it, but I can't remember where that place actively was. What were you using to create those videos, by the way, Ashwin? But yeah, that was like some top-notch work on those. Ah, cool. Are you close enough that if COVID wasn't a thing, you could go out for lunch? I don't know the relative size of various cities in Australia. There's when my coworker still lived here before he moved way up north to Prince George, British Columbia. We're still technically in the same city of Surrey, but we were as physically as far apart from each other. Accidentally, we like each other a fair bit as we could possibly be. So it was a real, trial if we decided that we wanted to, get together for a lunch or something once we stopped working together in the same place. Okay. Ooh, that is blinding as all get out. Everything still seems to be cool there, so that's always nice. Yeah. This is a fun time. Interesting. I think my office, well, I mean, technically speaking, this chair I'm sitting in right now is my desk. That computer to the left of me is the one that I used to work, and this one too. But the bulk of the people that work in my part of the company work out of an office in Mississauga, and there the last I heard, they're still not allowed to go into the building unless it is absolutely necessary. There's a skeleton crew in the network operations center, and that is it. And the doors are locked and closed. I have not. No, I imagine I saw little bits of the trailer. I don't know if this is controversial or not, but the other older Mortal Kombat movies I quite enjoyed, even though they were a fair bit of corn in quality. I think some people think of them that way. So I'm definitely interested in that, but I'm not sure that my wife is. So I think I need to contrive a way to watch that without her being around. Yeah. So I think I don't know the geography of Ontario super well, but at least two of the people that are good friends there are in hot zones. So I think it's a fairly bad-ish there from what I've heard. I have the luck of having worked from home for a very long period of time. Indeed, congratulations. You did indeed. You were the second person to win a copy of Sublime Text. So everybody that wins, just to go over that again, will get a direct message from me on Twitter after the stream to collect the details for the username and email address that should be associated with your license, which will appear in the About dialog. I think it probably displays in other places too. But boop. What name you want to appear in your situation, and I don't know what email address should be associated with it, so should you accidentally lose it, you can recover it. And I say after the stream, since it is currently 9:30 and I got some other stuff, there's a possibility that after the stream might be tomorrow morning. We'll see how we go. I want to do it as soon as possible after this, but just let it be known if the stream goes long or something. Hello, welcome in, Sameshwar. How badly did I butcher that? Sometimes the thing about live streaming on Twitch and on YouTube is hoping that you're getting the names of people correct when you you greet them. I feel like I should have a standard disclaimer that says, no disrespect if I don't pronounce your name correctly, and also I'm terrible at time zones. So good afternoon, good evening, and good night. But my work situation is actually kind of interesting because for a long time, there was two of us that were actually working out of an actual physical office in downtown Vancouver, but the office was so big that we each had 2,000 square feet of run-on space to be able to do whatever we wanted. So the company allowed my coworker who had just bought a house to rent out a floor of his house, which was 2,000 square feet on its own, specifically for our office use, and we moved our office in there and worked out of basically his house. So he was living the dream going down the stairs, and I still had to travel to his house. But then his wife decided that they needed to move up north, so I got to work from home and have been for a few years now. So that this whole situation hasn't impacted me as much as it has some. As a matter of fact, yeah, it's ridiculous. I'll tell you what, it's up on a shelf. I can't get it, but I have an RC car, and I don't mean like the kind you get from Radio Shack or Best Buy and the like one of the actual professional, stupid expensive electric ones that people race, and it goes like 30 miles an hour. I had a lot of space to be able to drive it around in the office. No way I could get it anywhere near top speed, but because the office was carpeted, I got really good at doing high-speed drifts around the pile of desks in the middle of the office. Good times. Congratulations again, GUI. You will enjoy that license, I am sure. And don't forget to use the buttons down below to thumb, subscribe, and share. The bell notification icon, because you're going to want to get some tutorial videos on how to use this software that you're winning. Although I assume everybody has already done that. And I just realized we're quite a ways into the stream, and I haven't actually called that one out yet. Yeah. So, and again, for those not in the know, I also stream on Twitch as well. The bot may or may not be calling that out. I can't remember if it's on a timer rotation. I do use Sublime. This is the exact setup I use on Twitch. We just write code instead of talking about Sublime and answering questions. And I've been working on a Twitter bot and overlay stuff, which is the genesis of the stuff that's happening when we win, which has been working flawlessly, and I'm quite impressed with that. So feel free to swing by one of those streams and hang out as well. Ooh, we're very close now. You regret a lot? I regret that I didn't eat more pizza in my youth, but that's probably not what you're talking about here. Not that I've heard. I hope so. I think somebody made, I don't know if it was Ben or Dylan or John or Will or something, some reference to the fact that they were playing around with some stuff, but nothing was coming of it or something. I can't even remember when it was that happened. Currently, we're lobbying in the Discord to, well, I'm lobbying for a video editor for no readily explicable reason whatsoever. Just because I think I have to at this point, because I said it one time and it's just my thing that I do now. And somebody else is saying that they would like a terminal. There you go. Ashwin knows. Your chat's not appearing there? Not appearing where? I can see your chat. Is it not appearing above me? I can see you on my stream view of the screen saying that you can't see it. But it's totally there. It may take a little bit of time to appear. The YouTube chat API is kind of crunky in how it transmits messages back and forth. So it's entirely likely that you'll say something and then it won't appear above my head for a few seconds before it eventually pops in. If you send something with a link in it, that might be redacted because YouTube is a butt and it's blocking links even though I told it not to, and I can't figure out how to turn it off. It may also have some sort of something related to long messages. If it's dropping stuff, I apologize. There's nothing I can do about it because it's not telling me about it, even though I'm a monitor. I'm sorry, I'm a moderator. So if something is sketchy, it should be telling me about it, but it's not. So I guess just sort of type smaller messages. There may be like a limit. I mean, it's 200. It should be fine, I would think. Yeah. 200 characters and slow, and for reasons I don't understand, it just discards links out of hand unless you're me. But I don't know why. I can't make it not. I've tried several times to make sure that that checkbox doesn't have a check in it, but it's just keeping me super safe. Maybe I need to hit a different plateau in my YouTubership. Oh, we're getting close to the next and last copy of Sublime Text that we will be giving out this very evening. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of this because we're going to do Sublime Text. Let's see if I can hit this exactly at the point at which it says it. Surprise! Congratulations to Flex Tape My Ass. I have no idea what that is in reference to, but congratulations. You have just won yourself a copy of Sublime Text. Indeed. I'm trying to... I laughed at that one. I did a ton of testing of this integration that we're using here. Let me click the button here. Make sure we restart that timer while I was doing this stuff. And that one has come up a time or two. And every time I see it, I can't tell if it's someone being angry about flex tape or they actually want somebody to tape their ass as some sort of request. I'm hoping the former and not the latter. But hey, I'm not judging. You do what you want with your tape in your own home and your copy of Sublime Text as well. I would also love a Sublime OS. That would be cool. An email client would add that. I would, knowing that anything that Sublime does is going to be fast, performant, and cross-platform, I would love an email client from you guys as well. I cannot lie. Console or a terminal application, I mean, I've never really had any problem with terminals that I've used. Pardon my bump, on any of the operating systems. Although I'm not a super fan of standard terminal on Mac OS, iTerm is better. But mail programs, man, mail programs are hard to find. I use Claws Mail, and I only use it because it's the least ugly one that actually works. You didn't stay up all night working on things? Hello, Tater. Hello and goodbye. Nice to see you in here. Are you getting ready for a stream, perhaps? Well, I mean, not quite yet, but because it's not next week yet. I'm going to click the button. Voice echoing? I don't... Apple Mail? Is that different from iMail? Is anybody else hearing an echo? I'm not sure why it would be doing that. Out of the blue. Perhaps you have an extra tab open. I've done that a time or two. I did have a problem a little ways back wherein I unplugged the headset even though the mic isn't attached to it and this mic is wireless, and OBS decided it to start taking input from the webcam. But cool. That's cool because if it's echoing, I don't know how to fix it. That is not the sort of technical problem we need on an operation like this. Let's see. Sublime File Browser would be cool. Debugger. There you go. That'll do it. Multiple copies of stuff. I have done that exact thing to a friend on Twitch where we're like, I'm getting a weird... I was getting actually a triple echo from him on his Twitch stream. And it turned out that one of those was my fault because my phone just spontaneously started playing his stream. I think Twitch, I had been listening to it and Twitch lost its connection and then eventually it came back like an hour and a half later. But also he listens to his own stream himself to make sure that it's working. So game engine that doesn't suck? Well, if anybody can create something cool with a GL, it's Ben. I consider him to be the GL guru because he managed to get Sublime to be super fast with it and still work with macOS. Oh, anything is possible. Never give up hope. Unless you were hoping for a copy of Sublime Text, in which case you kind of have to give up hope because we just gave away the last copy of it. In which case, unfortunately, You cannot win. But who's to say that we won't do another one of these sometime soon? You never know. Now that I know a little bit more about running one of these giveaways. There could well be. I don't know when that might actually be, but we were planning on doing one before we got gifted some licenses. So I'm not ruling out the idea that at some point in the future, we might do something akin to a one-off, one of each, or something along those lines. Who can say? Maybe we could give away a couple more copies of Sublime Merge once Sublime Merge videos start appearing on the channel in the nearest futures. Speaking of, I was excited to discover that the video editing software that I use to create my videos, Camtasia, has come out with version 2021 with a bunch of new features, some cool, some which is how things normally work for something like that. But one of them is the ability to bring in animations that are written in JSON, which I think is super cool. Unfortunately, it seems like the only way to create one is with After Effects, which is kind of unfortunate. Sponsored giveaways? I've thought of sponsored giveaways. I can't imagine why anybody would want to sponsor my channel. If you know of anybody, feel free to send them my way. Technically, this is kind of Sublime HQ sponsored in as much as they provided the licenses that we're giving away tonight. So there's that. But no, as I've said many a time, streaming on YouTube and streaming on Twitch is just something that I do because I enjoy being live, talking to you guys, answering questions, exploring, historically Sublime Text, writing plugins for it, trying to take it to new lengths like the YouTube editor, or integrating it with OBS to be able to send messages back and forth, which is a cool proof of concept. And to create videos that, if there's someone that has a problem with Sublime and doesn't understand some aspect to it, I know I personally enjoy watching videos of stuff. It's nice to read something about how something's supposed to work, but it's also very cool to see it happening in front of you so you can follow along and see if you're getting the same results. Often stuff that's written down might miss something that seems obvious that is tricky to follow. So the fact that people are responding, to the channel and the content that's on here is really not what I expected at all. Kind of like how when I started streaming on Twitch, I wasn't expecting to get 50 followers, and I wasn't expecting to get 3 viewers, and I wasn't expecting to get people to subscribe to me either. But all of those things have happened, which is mind-blowing. The support of people on both of these locations is absolutely amazing. So yeah, I'm totally down with sponsored stuff. I mean, to the sense, I guess I should clarify that I wouldn't give away a thing that I didn't personally like, and I wouldn't lie for somebody and say that I liked the thing if I didn't, because hopefully it comes across that I am genuine in my love of text and merge and the stuff that I do. If there's one thing you'll learn spending 20 or more years on IRC, it's that in an online venue, it's best to just be yourself, because there's no way that you can keep up some sort of fake persona, and it will catch up to you in the end. So either like me for the nerd that I am, or, you don't. Sort of thing. And I absolutely love this software, and figuring out what it can do and making it do things that the others probably didn't think of. The piano plugin also comes to mind as a thing that we have built in here. Keith and I, if he's still here, probably not. I imagine it is his work time. But indeed, we are down to the wire on this one, my friends. We're getting close. 5 minutes in, and it's almost time. Oh, this is some exciting time. Is there anybody in the chat right now that has put entries in for Sublime Merge that is hoping to be one of the people that wins the license. I know the only one that, well, I think I recall Terminal having quite a few entries in there as well, if I'm remembering correctly. So, fingers crossed. The only other person that I am familiar with that's in here is Ashwin, who was the lucky winner and possibly may have passed out when he heard the news. I don't know. I like to think that he is fanning himself off with a piece of paper with the Sublime Text logo on it. Speaking of, make sure that there's no puppy here. If I pushed my chair back a little bit. One of the things that I worked on a ways back when I worked on creating this shirt and the other shirt that I use is these stickers. Night Tater, hope you sleep well. I mean, 6 a.m. Good Lord. I will say this. I was in bed at almost 6 this morning, and there were two very chatty birds outside the window, and I'm curmudgeonly enough that I would have thrown a rock at them if I could tell where they were coming from, or I had a rock, or I could do it without getting out of bed, because there's a screen in the window. It's a whole big thing. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. I don't know how well the camera will pick these up or whether or not I even have this in the right orientation. But a ways back, I created these stickers. Oh, I guess if my big fat finger wasn't in the way, you can see a Sublime Text logo and a Sublime Merge logo in the nice little circle. You might recognize them. They've been popping up all in the stream. And these are going to go on a laptop that I recently achieved, ostensibly for the purposes of monitoring live streams, but YouTube doesn't seem to like it very much. Works good for Twitch though. But this just is a reminder that Sublime HQ has nascent plans, or at least Will Bond has nascent plans to maybe set up some sort of merch. And if they did, I'm not saying I would buy a dozen of each logo on a sticker and a couple of shirts, maybe a tote bag. I'm not saying I wouldn't either. So I would love to show the Sublime love in many, many ways. Put the shirt that was more professionally designed than the one that I have created here for my own use on the streams and in the videos and such. We're getting down to the wire now. This is a real nail biter. If you're in my Discord, there has been a thing I posted in here as well. In this one, because we do have a good friend on Twitch who goes by the name Jar of Bees, who is an artist. He's a very good little artist, but he doesn't think that he is. So we're finding that we need to prod him with this pointy stick to remind him that he is awesome. In his streams, he has something that allows you to use your channel points to redeem to get him to draw a blob monster. And I used mine. I got to say that I would like a nerd blob. And the result was the image that you can see here on this Redbubble thing, because after he did it, we're going to be getting the original. He lives in Sweden, so it'll be a while before it appears, but expect to see it to my right on the wall of art in upcoming videos when it eventually arrives. But also, we convinced him to put it on Redbubble as well. So there's a pretty good chance you're going to see me wearing that shirt in some live stream as well. And probably a bunch of stickers too. And I like to point that out because he is a cool dude. And it's tangentially related to ODAT Nerd, because I said, hey, make a nerd blob. And pocket protector and glasses with tape on it is spot on. All right, we're coming up on the 30 seconds here. Let's get the command ready to go. This has gone exceedingly well, I must say. Who will the lucky person be who wins the last copy up for grabs of Sublime Merge? Will it be Terminal? Will it be somebody else in the chat? Let's see. It is giveaway time. This is the big one. This is for all the marbles. Well, I guess this is for the last marble. Everybody has an equal share in all of the marbles. We play nicely here. Here it goes. Surprise! Russ Lenoid is the lucky winner of the third and final license. Let's go ahead and click the button and let them know publicly a winner is they. And that will do it. We have given away quite a bit of Sublime Text love here tonight, including to some people that hang out routinely in streams and in the Sublime Text Discord. Absolutely amazing. Amazing work by everybody who put an entry in over the last couple of weeks. Tweeted out stuff, retweeted, let everybody know that this was going on. Thanks to Ben and Dylan and everybody at Sublime HQ for their support in providing the licenses for this too and the recommendations thereof. This has been a fun time, marred only by a tiny amount of weird internet activity. So yeah, that is great. Have a great night, Diego. The stream is going to be wrapping up fairly soon as well, probably in the next 8 or 9 minutes or so. We've hit the 2-hour mark. It's an exciting time, and I have a little bit of work ahead of me letting people know that they have won via direct messages. So let's go ahead and hit the old button. That's this one over here. And boop. Probably not necessary for me to make my own sound effects for that, but thanks everybody for showing up to the stream. This has been absolutely amazing. So once again, just to let everybody know what's going on, if you were a winner, you will receive in a short period of time a direct message on Twitter from me with a request for the information that you would like to appear on your license. And then after we gather those up, we'll be handing them off to Sublime HQ to provide the licenses, which will then wing their ways towards you, and you will be in the wonderful land of Sublime Text. If you've got yourself a Sublime Text license and you didn't already have one, you might want to get yourself into the Sublime Text Discord and start getting in on the juicy Sublime Text 4 action. Or if you haven't, if you want a copy of Sublime Merge and you haven't had one previously, unlock the delightful dark mode and enjoy one of the best Git clients, if not the best Git client that I've ever had the privilege of using. So incredibly fast, and it has actually sort of ruined me for using Git from the command line, because trying to look at a Git pretty log to track branches is like looking at chicken scratch compared to the delight that is looking at the graph, which this is a terrible example because this particular thing has hardly anything in it. But, you know, watching this stuff and seeing merges and such, so much nicer in Sublime Merge. If you won yourself a license to this, congratulations. If you're watching and you haven't tried this thing yet, what the heck is wrong, man? I'm talking about it, but you can't actually see it. I just realized because I put it on this thing. But in any case, if you're not using Sublime Merge, get on that. You got to give that thing a try. Freely available for you to determine that it is going to change how you work with Git and how things look. Well, thank you so much, Dylan, and everybody. I think we should probably jump off. Now, if this was Twitch, we would find somebody to raid in and jump into somebody else's stream and carry on from there, building community. Unfortunately, we can't do this here. The only thing we can do is send you to a video, and I would have had to know what video to send you to before we started, and I did not set that up. So that's not what's going to happen. However, we're gonna call the stream here. Going to be live on Twitch tomorrow, though, as well. And again, to the lucky winners, congratulations to everybody. You'll be hearing from me soon and enjoying your delightful Sublime Text. So I'm going to press the button now, I think. It indeed did, yes. Twitter follows through the roof. The chart of subscriptions and such on YouTube took a tip up. I will say, however, I got exactly 2 up thumbs on Reddit. So Reddit is not where it's at for promoting stuff. Twitter is all the rage. Yes, the confetti thing is definitely available on Twitch as well. Although perhaps not with the Sublime Merge logo or the Sublime Text logo in there, but that is what we've been building towards, being able to pop one of those up for events that happen for more than just this. So it's almost like there was some sort of clever plan that meshes what we've been working on Twitch and this. I wish I could say that, but it just turned out that it worked out really well. So if I see you in a Twitch stream tomorrow, awesome. If I see you in the next week's live stream, awesome. If I just see you in the comments or in the Discord or something, that is great as well. I hope everybody has an awesome night or morning, as the case may be, for those of us that are in a completely different time zone. I'm going to go off and start sending out some tweets. So have a sublime day, everyone, or night, or weekend. You get the gist. Bye.